Welcome back to the Think Bigger Real Estate Show. I'm your host, Justin Stoddard. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about how you can create a very successful second career out of real estate. I have two ladies that are absolutely killing it out of Colorado Springs. So you're going to want to hear what they're doing, whether you are new in your career, thinking about getting into your career, and or just want to jumpstart your career. What they're doing will be beneficial to you. Before we fully introduce them, let me just remind you that inside of the Think Bigger Real Estate group on Facebook, we go deep on these topics. It's a mastermind where you're invited into the conversation, not just as a listener, but as a participant. So if you're not yet a member of the Think Bigger Real Estate group on Facebook, go join us there. Back to today's guests, Laurie, Derickson, and Kalene, Zaabadick. Thank you so much. Straight out of Colorado Springs. Nice to have you ladies here today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. We're excited to talk to you today.
It is my pleasure. So you ladies got into the business, if I understand this correctly, just a couple of years ago. Is that right?
Correct. Middle of 2019.
Yep.
Somewhere around there.
Very
Kind
good.
of goes by quick.
Now with the amount of success that you've had, again, $300,000 since in gross commission since January of this year. And again, we're filming this in early September.
I think we're 350 now with our closings we had this last week. So
From when I talked to you yesterday, you've already added another 50.
We just added some more, Justin. We just keep it going.
So you think about that, again, for everybody that's listening here, in their second year in the business, right? We're 8 full months into the year and they've generated $350K in revenue. I would imagine that any new agent out there would be like, tell me more. Probably even some seasoned agents that either A, want to do it themselves and or want to help their teammates do it, are probably now like, please tell me more. So that's what today's episode is going to be all about, is figuring out what you fantastic ladies are doing. Let me start by asking, what did you do prior to this? You must have had some inside track, right? Some skill set, some career that set you up perfectly for this that other people couldn't possibly duplicate. Please.
Well, I think it's, with the right systems in place and supports, I think what we do, you can kind of, take it and duplicate it, but we were in education before. So that's kind of, how we talk about helping agents, move out from their second career. I was a school counselor for, I don't even know.
A long time.
I was a school counselor, and Kalen also worked in administration. We actually started working together, and we just worked together so well. Before that, I just always had an entrepreneurial kind of spirit. I ran an online children's clothing company, went to trade shows. And so I dove into like social marketing, I guess, since I could remember. Once I started that business, I knew that was kind of how I was going to grow it. It was all online. And so that's kind of my background. And then Kalene.
Yeah. So my grandpa was in real estate in Denver and Golden, Colorado, when it was just farm ground. And then my parents were in the building industry. My husband was a contractor, and I had actually gone to work at the schools to supply the insurance for our family. So did that knowing that it was kind of a short term, but also knew when I dove into real estate, like I firsthand saw it, and I knew that you would just dive in, and it's, encumbersome of a lot of your time. And so when I started working with Laurie, we actually did a YouTube channel together at the schools that we rapped.
Our first one was a rap video we did for college admission process to Ice Baby with Vanilla Ice or whatever it is.
We made our own acronym, and it was funny though. We had fun doing it, and we would go into the classroom and present it to the kids, and they looked at us like we were crazy. We were like, we have real talent here, guys. Trust us. And so we've transitioned that talent into real estate.
The beauty of video marketing, if you get us going on it, is that they remember it. So that's kind of the beauty of, why we kind of did it at the school. And we just kind of always, when we went into real estate, that kind of carried over with us.
I'm assuming that everybody's listening here today has their own ahas. Here's a few key principles for those, for those that are listening, that I think are important for all of us to remember. If you're going to have this kind of success, you need to, number one, be willing to have fun. Like, you can tell these ladies are fun to be around, right? The fact that they did like a rap video, Ice Baby, just, I'm a fan. Like, I sometimes comb my hair upwards like this, blonde, just pretending. Anyway, you're educators at heart, right? You're there to teach, not just the agents that are, that are coming to you for mentorship, but also the clients, right? And I think that's a key thing that really differentiates the commodity agent that's easily replaced from the agent that everybody like that they have to come back and work with again, is because there's unique knowledge on top of the service and value of being a real estate agent. I'm also seeing like media, like you're not afraid of it. You weren't afraid of it back when you were, right? Like not even doing this.
It's always a little bit initial. Like every time we see ourselves, we're like, I'm like, our whole thing is just post it.
Yeah.
He's like, my hair looks awful today. I'm like, just post it.
Look at these roots. I mean, it's horrible. But that's like, we had, Laurie's always been just, we have to do video marketing. We have to do video marketing. We had actually gone to a video marketing conference, and the mindset that I heard just really helped me grow as somebody putting social media content out there. And somebody had said, it's definitely not about you. People clicked on this information, clicked on the link or the button or whatever you asked them to do for some sort of information. They aren't there to judge you. They aren't there to do, pick you apart or anything. They came here for information. And if you just have that mindset and talking to that little camera over there, or, just as you would in person, it makes it easy. Yeah.
No one likes the way they look on video. Like, let's be honest. If you like the way you look on video the first time you do it, or hear your voice, like, call me, because I'd like to chat with you, because I don't think anyone loves it. No. So it's just something you get used to. And I think it's just a part of the way our industry is going. And it's such a valuable tool that I don't think a lot of agents tap into, that is really spiraling or excelling our business here in Colorado.
Mm-hmm. That should help a lot of people right there. That aha, if you didn't catch that, go back and listen to what they said again. It's not about you. You're not the Kardashians. You're not there because you're like displaying your face or your new makeup line or your new dress. Like they're there. People have come to you for knowledge, right? Yes. And it's about them. It's not about you. And I think anytime, in fact, I actually had somebody, I was getting ready to actually give a discourse in front of a group of people. And the advice that this good friend of mine gave me is like, this isn't about you. Like try to be sure that everybody in the audience has a good experience. Like, and it was like, it like took the pressure off me of like, I was there to serve. When we're there to like be on a podium and be all cool and say everything just right, then we start to screw up, right? But it's like, no, I'm here to serve. I'm here to give. All of a sudden, it takes all the pressure off.
And I think we like to talk to. I think as real estate agents, I just think you have this. I did before I really was in the industry, that I had to be carry a certain persona. I had to carry a certain image.
She wanted pearls and a suit jacket.
I wanted it. I just felt like that's what you had to have. I had to be that person. And I think that our success from what we do has come from really learning to just be who we are. Like, we're moms, we are, just being ourselves, and our banter back and forth, and how much we love our clients and take care of our clients has really helped our business excel.
Well, and really, like you had said, Justin, having that mindset of serving others, that really is the gist of anybody's, a lot of people's jobs. Like, how can we, it's beyond the regular job duties. Like, when you genuinely care about somebody and want to serve somebody, whether it's helping them find a home or giving them information about your community, it makes it so much more rewarding than just a job. Yeah,
I love that. Such a great foundation to build on. Okay, let's now move to, where are you getting all of this business, right? $300,000 closed. And a lot of that, I believe, is buyer business, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because you guys have a fantastic YouTube channel. You've got a lot of people coming at you as opposed to you going at them, which is beautiful. And which means that in a probably one of the more difficult buyer markets ever, you've produced an enormous amount of commission. Help us understand where that's coming from.
So I would say it's coming from, our video marketing. We do video marketing. We used to kind of do it on Facebook. We kind of jumped to YouTube, and we take agents and we help agents kind of replicate the same system, but it really is coming from our YouTube channel and feeding them into that YouTube channel. I always tell agents who are kind of getting into the business or have been into it for a while is, you think about the future of real estate, and you're thinking about, some of these, iBuyer programs, or you're thinking about our famous Zillow, which we all just, love. And you have to get in front of the client before they get to that point, and they have to get to know you. And so that's like kind of where Kalene and I step in is, when someone's going to move to a new city, what are they Googling? They're Googling not your listing. They're not Googling, what do I do for inspection? Too late, they're past it. They're Googling, what can I buy for 600,000? Why should I not move to that city? So those are the things that they're Googling, and then they know us before they even hop on the Zillows or Realtor.coms or Redfins, and they know us. And so they already know us. They're our agent. We're their agent. And they'll tell me what kind of car I drive. They'll tell Kalene where she's from. Like, they really think they know us. And so we have them before they even go to some of those bigger
You already
hear about.
did the interview. You already have the job. And so the quality of lead, like Laurie said, we had done drip ads, funnels on Facebook. And yes, they have their purpose, but we found that the lead type that we were getting from there was so much more work than a YouTube lead that already knew how we ran our business. And we've already given them that valuable piece of information, and they are thankful for it. That's why they're reaching out to us. Now, we do use other social media platforms. What we've morphed into, where we take this YouTube video, is we now utilize it across all different platforms. And so instead of duplicating, videoing all the time, we take that one video and we have virtual assistants and other systems in place to where we break it apart and we put it into even Pinterest stories, Instagram stories, Facebook. We do still run a couple ads as well, but they have a whole different vibe. They're more for our community and our referrals. And I feel like what we learned from our organization with EXP was very valuable, but we've taken that and built upon it and kind of melted together all of these other ideas and made our own melting pot of a real estate business, all these pieces that we liked, and put it into a system to where we're creating those leads and also staying in front of our community as their real estate resource.
I think you've identified something really important here, is that if you are having to chase and convert and convince people to work with you, you're doing it more difficult than it needs to be done, right? In my book, The Upstream Model, you see over my shoulder here, for any that are unfamiliar.
We ordered it yesterday.
I actually saw that. Thank you. So the one thing that I teach is that, or a couple of things that I teach, is that the door through which you walk into somebody's life matters a lot. So if you walk through the door as a solicitor, it becomes very hard. You're spending a lot of time, energy, and resources to convince them that you're good. Whereas if you can walk through a door into their life to where you're already edified, pre-sold, that's done. And you can move so much quicker because they're already convinced. It's now just a matter of connecting the dots, of helping them get what they want. Yeah. And then I also teach about going and not competing where everybody else is competing. I like going and finding key referral partners that can bring you into the equation sooner. And the aha that I've had with your model is that you're leveraging these big tech platforms like YouTube to be an upstream partner, right? You are leveraging the power of having yourself and your brand and your face on there 24/7, even though you're not on there 24/7, to where those companies are introducing you to the clients long before those clients ever even can get introduced to another realtor. You're winning the game because you're getting there sooner. You're getting there earlier. It's a beautiful model, and it takes out much of the kind of ickiness and challenge.
I didn't really want to get into real estate. That was my hesitation. I didn't want to cold call. I didn't want to be a used car salesman to somebody. I wanted to provide value to them. I wanted them, to understand what it is that we do without being a salesy, cheesy person, forcing myself out there to that they should, use us as a real estate agent.
And that aha moment that we knew video marketing was working, we were still working our second career at the time. And everybody at our school building, and even my brother-in-law, he goes, "Why do you keep popping up in my ads? Like, why? How are you guys everywhere?" And there's definitely a science to it. And you have to know the platform and who you're talking to, but it's working when people think you're busy.
Yeah, that's what we teach agents. We teach agents, maybe not some of the traditional real estate methods, but how do you gain a real estate business and grow it without having to do some of those traditional cold calling, door knocking methods that I think are kind of on the way out. And how you can do that.
I agree. let's talk last kind of topic here before we move to kind of the final segment, which is obviously with this amount of business, you obviously have automated some things. I heard you say that you have, it sounds like a pretty clean process of filming the videos, handing it off to a virtual team member who at that point can slice up that video and put it on all different platforms. What other, outside of that, what other systems do you have in place to be able to deal with the inflow of leads of people coming at you, right?
Right. So I guess a couple of things is, we have a great transaction coordinator. I think if you're an agent, don't have a great transaction coordinator, you really, you need one.
Yes.
But we have a team here in Colorado who helps and is amazing. And so we've gone through some growing pains as far as feeding in some of our buyers agents, as far as people knowing us and they want to work with us. And so we've kind of gone through some growing pains with that a little bit. What else kind of systems we put in place?
So we take that initial video and we do have a virtual assistant who edits that. And then Laurie has even expanded, and she is a genius at this stuff, but she even details it enough to where they all flow through even our website page. So even if we aren't getting them to reach out on YouTube, then we're inviting them to our Facebook group like you did at the beginning of this podcast. And if they want to know what all the locals know, they need to join this Facebook group, and we're providing community value there. And then we have an assistant who messages them and welcomes to this page. And it's amazing. After that welcome, a lot of people write back and say, we actually saw you on YouTube, but we got in contact with them on Facebook, and or then maybe they clicked away on Pinterest planning their vacation, and they wound up on our web page, and then they saw this list of community events, and then they decide they love Colorado Springs and they already have an agent there. So we're still trying to perfect this visual that we've created. And it's almost like a spider web or a cog, some sort of flow pattern. We're still like morphing that out. But all of these automated pieces do work together. And the end goal is to be the real estate professional in our community. And no matter where they're at in the platform, they've probably seen us other places.
They can't get away from us.
They can't get away from us.
They're stuck with us.
When you truly believe that you can help people, you ladies believe that, I believe that about what I do, you'll go to great extents to not let people slip through the cracks.
Yeah.
You will go to great extents to be sure that they see you everywhere, because you know that if they lose contact with you, they may end up being serviced by somebody who doesn't care as much as you do, or who can't or won't provide the level of value that you do. So it behooves all of us, and this is a recommendation to everybody listening here today, is that if your follow-up systems are not on point, there's a couple of things. Either one, you just need to work on them, or number two, you need to realize how valuable you are, and that by not following up, you're putting them in the hands of who knows what, right?
Right.
That they simply may end up in the hands of a bad agent, right? In my situation, a bad, coach consultant. So I think it's important for all of us to really shore those up with that motive of like, I want to serve people. I know that I can help them. Therefore, I'm gonna be in all places so that they don't lose me and I don't lose them.
Well, and we're kind of battling, like, just for face value. We're battling that right now with a client who's coming into the area, well-qualified buyer, reached out to us from YouTube, joined our Facebook group, had that conversation, set them up. I think we even Zoom called, set them up on a search. And then all of a sudden their agent who listed their house in California referred them to somebody else. Well, she wrote us and said, I'm going with another agent.
Which doesn't happen very often, to be honest.
It doesn't.
It surprises me when it does.
And I thought, oh, geez, one of those. And Laurie did not let it go. And she does, though. She knows we are the better ones for the job. And that's all the banter back and forth is about, is the service that we provide.
Yeah.
And what it comes down to is we know we provide a lot of value, and we know we're good at real estate and providing all of those services. And it's up to them at that point to bite. But I was proud of her. I was like, wow, just let him go. No.
It demonstrates belief in yourself, right?
Uh-huh.
And belief that you can actually help people and your desire to want to help people. I think it's awesome. Great stuff, ladies. I want to now move to one last question. We're going to keep this more brief today. But before we do that, I want to be sure that people know how to get a hold of you, right? There's some people out there, as I mentioned, that are in a number of different camps. One, they're outside of the real estate industry looking in saying, I need to reinvent myself into a new career. How do I do it and not just sputter along, right?
Yep.
Or they're in the business and they've got a team of people who they want to be sure that they have success, right? Or it's people that are just kind of sputtering along and they need to, you know, like they need a shot in their arm of like, I gotta reinvent myself in this industry. So whatever camp you may fit within, these ladies have some value to offer you. Where would you send them, ladies? Where should they go to follow you more closely, to learn from you?
Right. So I would say a couple things. We have a YouTube channel called Just Finest Agents. And so it's Get Your Shit Together. So GYST. And so we do a YouTube channel of how we've kind of started from scratch and how we built our business. If they also want to reach out to us, it's us that answers. Everyone always is like, do you answer your phone directly? And it is. We've never given that up yet, but they can call or text us. We hopped on just this week with a group out in, were they in Austin? Somewhere in Texas.
Somewhere. Magnolia.
Tuesday.
I don't know.
Anyway, so we help agents all the time, you know, learn to perfect these systems and also grow teams as far as like, you know, how we're at this certain level. What's our next level to get, how do we break that barrier? So they can reach out to us through text also, which is also on our YouTube channel, but our number is 719-639-3393. And just call or text us anytime. That's what we love to do is we love help people find homes, but we also have loved to help agents grow their business because we were both in education. We didn't make a ton of money, and not that money's what it's all about, but it is nice to be able to support your family and to
go on nice vacations and all the things that you love to do.
For
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. My final question, ladies, is this. You are no doubt big thinkers. That's why you find yourself on the Think Bigger Real Estate Show. What do you do to continue to grow yourselves, to continue to think bigger and expand your own possibilities? What does that look like for you?
We are always, I feel like at first it was kind of hard to grasp, but we're always morphing. Like it's not a destination. It's about the journey. And we're in a world where social media is continually changing and, you know, presentations and all of these logistics. Like you can't just put a system in place and let it go. Maybe you can for a while, but we're continually morphing. And I think if you have an open mindset and the end goal in mind of like serving your community, serving your client, and you know what that end goal is, and you know that it's just a journey and not a destination, you'll figure it out.
And I guess mine would be just to surround yourselves with people who, you know, have good ideas. Like I think at EXP, we are surrounded by people that are helping us all the time who have great ideas, who, you know, we can join in a class or they'll shoot us a text and say, what about this? Let's grow your business this way. And so that has been super helpful for our business. I would say, you know, we talk about how much we've made in this last, you know, 8 months or whatever, just joining and expanding our business model. And I feel like a lot of it has been because the people you surround yourself they're big thinkers. And so if you surround yourself with people who think big, you also will start to think big. And I think that that's a huge part of growing your business.
Who was that? We went to an EXP sprint event and we both looked at each other and like wrote it down. And they said, I never want to be the big fish in the room.
In the small pond.
In the small pond. Yeah.
Whatever.
It's
you always want to be the small fish who's surrounded by big fish.
That's
You're
what I
always
meant.
Getting good ideas.
And it's so true, though. You want to surround yourself with people who have these big goals and systems in place. And that was the whole melting pot. You can pick and choose, and real estate, you can make it whatever you want. Yeah.
You ladies have done an inadvertent plug for the purpose of the Think Bigger Real Estate Show, which is be around people that help you to think bigger. Absolutely. That's exactly why I invited you ladies on, because I wanted you to rub off on me a little bit. It's been super fun. It's been such a pleasure to have you. Congrats on your success. Thank you for being so generous in being willing to give back to everybody.
What we love to do. So thank you. So yeah, reach out anytime if you guys have any questions.
My pleasure. And my final request of everybody listening here today are these 3 simple words, and they are go think bigger. Ladies, thank you for helping us do that today.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you.